Welcome to the Redeemed Vision podcast, where we bring sight to the blind and freedom to those enslaved by our pornified culture. Here, we dive into hard but important topics such as pornography, sexual identity, true freedom, real love, and living marriage well. Go deep with us as we uncover what Redeemed Vision means for each of us living in the world today. Come to know yourself, the power of redemption through Jesus Christ, the joy of laughter, and how to live in gratitude and wonder. This is Redeemed Vision.
Howdy. Welcome to another edition of the Redeemed Vision podcast. I'm your host, Steve Picorni. It is an honor to have you here. As usual, please like, subscribe, hit that bell, whatever you got to do, and spread the message, especially about this podcast. This is something you don't want to miss. And I do mean miss as in to see it, because we're going to be talking about something awesome. And I'm going to just jump in here today because the guest that we have today is very special. This is going to be Cecilia Stephenson. She's the producer of a powerful new film called Triumph of the Heart. I cannot believe that she's here and we're going to be able to talk about this. Cecilia has poured her faith, her creativity, and passion into bringing this story to life. And today we're going to hear not only about the making of this film, but also about the personal journey of faith that carried her through this. So get ready for a conversation. It's inspiring, it's real, and ironically, filled with heart. So without further ado, Cecilia Stephenson, welcome to the Redeemed Vision podcast.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here.
An honor to have you. I mentioned before we started today that we like to have a little bit of fun. So Cecilia, this is kind of important to us. All those who hear this, would you do the honors, please? Oh, you're muted. You went muted. See, anytime we do anything with the podcast, we know somebody doesn't want us doing this, so they like to mess with our technology. So this is an official podcast on this. So for those who didn't know, her mic got muted. So here we go. So you want to?
So sorry, I'm supposed to ask you about tell me about your dad jokes.
Oh yeah. So Cecilia, thanks for asking. So Cecilia, did you hear about the movie producer who brought a ladder to set?
No, I didn't hear about that one. What happened?
Yeah, she found that the budget was a little short. So, all right.
That's often the case.
Yes, it is. And I thought it would be a little close to home. Hopefully not too traumatizing for you on that front. So you're involved with this amazing film called Triumph of the Heart. Please share with our listeners and our viewers, what is this all about?
Triumph of the Heart is a feature film based on the final days of St. Maximilian Kolbe. So he obviously is a very beloved saint in the Catholic Church. Most stories that are told about him end with his decision to enter into the cell with those nine other men. He traded his life to save a man that was crying out for his life. And that's where most stories end, right? So he lived an amazing life up until that moment. And then he makes this just amazing, beautiful, loving decision. And that's what most people, including myself, know about Maximilian Kolbe. So our film actually starts there and it goes with him into the cell with those nine other men. And it's basically the story of how he brought love and hope to that intense place of suffering, to those nine other men in that starvation bunker.
Amazing. I've had the privilege and honor to go to Auschwitz, to be at the cell, to pray there. I do encourage anyone who takes that trip, do not go alone. Do not do what I did. You need to detox and be able to process with someone. Probably the same thing about this film. Don't go alone. Bring 5 or 10 or 20 of your best friends to go see this together. And Maximilian has been a near and dear part of my heart for a long time, asking his intercession. But this is not about me. I want to hear about you. And again, we are talking about the film, but Cecilia, we want to get to know you personally here. So why Maximilian? Why St. Maximilian Kolbe? Why would you spend, how long have you spent on this film? First, I should ask that.
2 years, over 2 years, close to 3, depending on how far back you go. Yeah.
Yeah. You were clearly a movie producer, so spending time there, right? So why St. Max? Why is he so important in your life?
Yeah. So my St. Maximilian Kolbe, he's amazing. First off, I actually didn't know much about him. Kind of like what I just said is I knew that he traded his life for another prisoner in Auschwitz, and this heroic, amazing act. And he's like one of the great saints, right? He's one of the greats, and that's about the extent of my knowledge of who he was. And Anthony D'Ambrosio, he's the writer director of the movie. I've worked with him for years. We've made many short films together. And so when he reached out to me with the feature length script and he said, hey, I got this film, like, do you want to produce it? Do you want to work with me? It was an automatic yes. And so Anthony really, through stepping into this project and agreeing to work with him, I've learned so much more about St. Maximilian Kolbe and why. It's a big question, right? Like, why Maximilian Kolbe? I'm not the one that initially chose to make a film about him. However, I am so happy that like it is him. And I think like upon further reflection and just like thinking about like what the Holy Spirit might be doing with this particular movie at this particular time in history, right? If you just look kind of around the world, right? Like you look at the movies that are out there, you look at people, you look at young people, you look at old people, there's obviously suffering everywhere, right? Like this is just part of the human experience, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on, how you look at it. And there's also in this particular age, I think you can point your finger at a lot of things, right? Technology obviously is a big one. The way that like the family is under, so many different things, so many different evils and just things that are out there, right? People are searching for meaning. People are lonely. People, anxiety, depression, suicide rates, like all of these things are like kind of through the roof, and more so like in the modern age for reasons that I'm sure psychologists and people smarter than me have like dug into, like the why, like why all that. And so I think it's really beautiful and just a wonderful thing that I think the Holy Spirit is doing to, that we are here making this movie right here, right now about St. Maximilian Kolbe. And what did he do but enter into suffering, enter into a hopeless and like, just like from the outside looking in, meaningless place, right? Like this starvation bunker. These men know they're going to die. What is the point of living? What is like, there is no hope. There is like nothing to try and live for. And he willingly went into that place and brought those men hope and love. And I think it is a story that needs to be told. I think it is a story that people need to hear, people that are suffering, people that are lonely, depressed, suicidal, even searching for meaning, all of these things, right? Ultimately, what people are hungry for is Christ, right? Like they have a God-shaped hole in their heart. And I think that's, cliche, but I think it's super true. And what Maximilian Kolbe's story does for us is it gives us a modern example of what it looks like to have Christ enter into our suffering, meet us in those places, bring love and meaning to our lives. And so that is why Kolbe, that is why now. And I think the medium of film is so just special because it allows people to enter into a story, experience things, think about things, have a spiritual experience in ways that other mediums might not allow.
Beautifully said. You've just captured the heart, I think, of what, pun intended, welcome to Dad Joke Central. But really centered this reality. I think why I love film so much. Like you were transported into a whole nother world, and for me especially, it's looking for those elements of where is God in those places, and where is redemption to be found here, which is exactly what we're all about here on the Redeemed Vision podcast. So can I push a little bit? Would you permit me to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you gave me a beautiful answer about like in general for the world, but what we want to do is get to know you a little bit here. If you're willing to go there, what does St. Max mean to you for your life? Perhaps how would you articulate that? Yeah,
I relate a lot actually to who I have learned Maximilian Kolbe to be. So, and that's and a lot of credit of that goes to Anthony, right? He's the one that did the research. He went to Poland. He talked with the Franciscans and those that knew people that knew Kolbe, right? So he did a lot of this work to try and uncover the man that was Maximilian Kolbe. And the benefit, I guess, or like what I have received from all of that work that Anthony did. And through like working on this project, I relate a lot to Maximilian Kolbe. And he, like I said, an incredible man, an extraordinary human being. He did so many things like while he was alive, right before he was captured by the Nazis, and like the Militia Immaculata, the magazine. Like he was a man of media. Like he worked in the media. He was a visionary, and his work was very important to him. Like it was a mission. And one of the things that Anthony learned that has really like kind of impacted me is that like those that knew Kobe well. Or like, the stories that were kind of like the oral tradition that was like passed down about those who knew him was that he tended to maybe put the work above like the humans, the people that he was working with. And so sometimes the brothers would joke about this sort of thing. And, maybe like in modern terms, you could say he was a workaholic or something. I mean, I don't want to like project too much because I didn't actually know him, but these are sort of some of the things that like through Anthony's research and through working on the film, like I just relate to that a lot. And so how have I been impacted? I think it is very beautiful to see like the human side of who he was, and that he was still able to also be cultivating virtue, right? Like his entire life leading up to this moment, and to be presented with this opportunity, and he chooses to step forward, right? And what we explore in the movie, and something that is just so powerful and beautiful to me, is this idea of basically remembering the humans that he is ministering to, and not letting the mission, the work, kind of like drive him. And that's so relatable to me because I love what I do, right? Like I have a very similar sort of like mission focused field of work, I guess. I mean, making this movie right now is my work, is my job, right? And it's very mission oriented, right? Like I believe this movie has the I believe God can do so many things with this movie, possibly even save souls, dare I say. Like that's such a beautiful thing.
Dare.
Yeah. Yes. I do dare. So yeah, I similarly like, my work is very mission oriented, and it is very easy for me to get wrapped up in that, and to, myself, I can speak for myself, like be a bit of a workaholic and like push. And like, there are so many, like I can be pretty demanding of my team. Right. And I can, like, those that are like, just the people that are working with me, like to make this movie, like I can ask, and kind of sometimes forget about the like loving, basically is kind of what it boils down to. And so, gosh, yeah. I mean, and there's so many other things I could probably like talk about like how I've been personally impacted, but that's just one little nugget, is like really being inspired by Maximilian. And gosh, I mean, yeah, I relate to him in this kind of like, the work is so important, and the work is my mission, and like the mission is important, right? Like saving souls, like is like one of like the most important thing like I could do with my life, right? Like get other people to heaven. And if this movie, like does that, then like, praise God, like that's amazing. And I got to play a part in that. But at the same time, like I need to remember to like literally love and respect and like show up for the people in my life, the people that are in my life, and not let the importance of the mission outweigh the importance of like loving people that are right in front of me. And it's super easy for me to forget that. So yeah, in the movie, we really, really like show, I guess, what that looks like. And we kind of show his character development in that way, to put it in movie terms, and it's really beautiful how it happens in the film. And I think it's really inspiring personally.
Cecilia, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're probably a type A kind of person.
Probably.
Maybe. Probably. You get things done. We'll put it that way, right? And you're speaking. It's from one type A to another type A. We want to get things done, right? And it can come across that we don't care about people because we just care about the mission, and we got to get this movie done. And either you're going to be with me or you get out of my way. That's not who you are. That's not who you are. It's not who I am, right? And I think that's as a recovering workaholic, right? I'll say that here, right? Realizing that. Why are we doing what we're doing here, right? If we're, full disclosure, Maximilian Kolbe, Militia Immaculata, was my first consecration to Our Lady through there, right? Many, many moons ago, and knowing all about his magazine, going to, if I'm going to butcher the name Neopolka now, did I say that correct? And I probably butchered it.
A little bit. Yeah. I don't say it perfectly. Neapokalanaf is how I've learned how to say it. Yeah.
Thank you. So being there, but realizing like it's faith that's rooted in prayer that drives the mission, right? So yeah, I love the passion. Don't stop with the passion. It's really good. So I want to go into Cecilia to get to know you a little bit, and what's the drive behind in this. So can you share a little bit about your own faith journey, right? Growing up in your house, what was life like growing up in your house? How did that shape who you are today?
Yeah, great. I cradle Catholic, so born and raised Catholic Church. Both my parents are Catholic. Most of my entire family is Catholic. So, some of them fallen away, but we weren't a super. We were devout. Basically mass every Sunday. Mass every Sunday. Prayer groups here and there. Sometimes we would pray together as a family. But yeah, definitely mass on Sundays, and then like all the youth group stuff, like all the sacraments, right? So that was kind of my upbringing, Catholic school, K-8. And I guess how I usually sum up kind of like my faith journey, and just like the evolution, right, of just like the stages of my development. Like I've always been a rule follower. I've always been a good girl, never had like a rebellious streak. That was my brothers. They were the rebels. I was, I'm the oldest girl, right? It just comes with the territory. At least that's my experience of being the oldest girl. But the responsible one, the good kid, right? And
you're the good one.
I'm the good one, and what that kind of looked like in my faith life is, and this was also amplified by going to Catholic school, and like religion class, like it's like a class, like you get a grade in religion class. My experience of my faith was basically a series of like do's and don'ts, right? Like it was like, here's the things to do to be Catholic. Here's the things you don't do if you're Catholic. And it was not at all about any sort of personal relationship with anybody. That concept was not introduced to me, honestly, until like my young adult years, like probably like leaving college, quite honestly, is when it like actually sank in. And I was like, oh, that's what that means. Like you hear this phrase, like, relationship with Jesus. And I'm like, okay. But it wasn't until my like young adult years that it actually sunk in. And I was like, oh, I get it now. So like up until that, like my entire life, was just like, here's all these rules. You follow the rules and that means you're Catholic. And that's what it means to be Catholic. And like, yeah, I have a relationship with Jesus in that I am following the rules, I guess. Like that's kind of what that meant to me. And all the youth groups, all the retreats, everything, following all the rules. Like I'm a rule follower, for better or for worse. It's the way God hardwired me.
Hardwired, probably.
Yeah, that's the one. And so that was my life, right? Like high school, college, you name it, all the things, good grades, like doing all the sacraments, doing all the retreats. And eventually, some things just like happened in life. And you could say, I wouldn't say like hit rock bottom. It wasn't like that, but just like something very like heavy happened. And it kind of just like shook me. And I sort of had this like, again, existential is too big of a thing. But there was a season where I was very mad at God because I kind of realized, like, hey, God, I've been following all the rules. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do. Like, I've been doing retreats. I've been doing the sacraments, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm so unhappy. Like this really horrible thing like just happened to me. It was super kind of devastating in a lot of ways. I'm in my early 20s, or like maybe mid 20s at this stage. We could do the math, but it doesn't matter. Young adults. And I'm like, what's the deal, God? What do you want from me? Like, I'm trying to do everything I can. And yet this, like, I'm just so unhappy and this hard thing is happening. And I was just really angry at God for like a good season, like a good, several months. And like, that's like a whole separate story, but then kind of coming out of that, it was basically just this like 6 month long, 9 months, however long it was, maybe even a year. I don't know, like kind of wrestling match with God where I just, I never stopped going to mass. I never really stopped praying or talking to him. My prayer was basically like telling him how angry I was with him. And like, I don't get it. Like, why, just like, why? Right. And like, asking God the why question doesn't ever really get you anywhere. But, I like went through that.
He'll let you ask it though.
Yeah, exactly. So I asked it for sure. And I went through this season and never really actually got answers to any of the questions I was asking. But eventually, he like brought me out of it, and I kind of just like emerged on the other side. And I don't know. I guess I'd have to like kind of think more about like how exactly maybe it happened, but my faith was strengthened somehow. Like I came through this just seasoning of doubting and questioning and wondering why. And I think maybe what happened is I allowed myself to just be real with God instead of like just trying to put on a good face, right? And like follow the rules and like, see, I'm doing all the right things. Like, look how good I am. And I think I allowed myself to just be mad at God because that's how I felt. And I was like, I'm tired of like just being a good girl all the time. Like, I'm going to be mad at you, God, because I feel mad at you. And so I did for quite a while. And then eventually I came out of it. And I don't remember exactly how or why. But like, as I was coming out of it, and maybe it could just be like the time heals all wounds things, like just enough time had passed where, I don't know, I just kind of got over it and then, kind of came out the other side. But I feel like my relationship with God changed during that time. And, and this was actually kind of around the time of the pandemic, I guess, is kind of when I was sort of coming out and like this kind of new transformation was happening. And, it wasn't perfect, obviously, like still a, it's still a battle and a struggle, but kind of since that season, I guess, kind of like since coming out the other side of that, I think I have a newfound understanding, I guess you could say, of what it means to have a relationship with our Lord. And that only is getting like stronger and stronger and more beautiful, like the older I get, and that now, like that season was, gosh, what year is it? 2025. So like that was a handful of years ago. And so kind of since then, gosh, yeah, he's been giving me amazing opportunities with all this like film stuff that I've been doing. And just like, the people, and I've been like dating a guy for a couple of years now, and, we might be getting married, and there's just all these like really, not that like the good things in life make everything okay and like take away that, not that like there's not suffering, if that makes sense. Or that I still have questions, or I'm still asking why. Right. But I guess you could say during that season, my faith matured. And like, now that I'm like out of it, and I can even like, God has given me the gift that I can even look back at that thing that happened, that kind of like triggered this whole, just like, why God, why? And I can see the beautiful, at least like a small little glimpse of what I can see as a human, like the tapestry that God was weaving. And, this particular thread was really, really painful, and it was a really, really hard season. But like, now that I'm kind of like removed from it a little bit, and, I won't get the whole glimpse of it until I'm in heaven, hopefully, Lord willing. But like, even like, he's kind of given me a gift of foresight, hindsight, whatever you want to call it. And I can like kind of see a little bit like, okay, God, like I see what was maybe happening there. And, I wouldn't change it. Like I wouldn't take it back, which is kind of wild to say, but I don't know. Hopefully that was a very long answer to your question, but hopefully I answered it.
No, that's good. It's good. And I, as you were speaking, as you're sharing from your heart here, the image of the prodigal son comes in here. You weren't the prodigal son or prodigal daughter. You're the one at home, and I'm taking care of all these things. And my big stupid brothers are coming home, right? And they get a calf. What is up with that? It makes sense though, right? And we were never designed to merely follow the rules. Rules give structure to the house, help us to keep some order, keeps things tidy, right? But at the end of the day, the Father wants our heart. And if we're not doing it, like if we're on the outside, it's kind of interesting, right? Like the prodigal son's brother was in the house, but he's not really in the house, right? He's not here. And it's exhausting to live outside, doing all the things. I've got to show up. I have to impress. I do all these things. Where's it's not about me, right? And where does he wants the heart here? And I love the fact that you're having that breakthrough. That's beautiful. So then I want to ask this question, right? Because again, that helps to get an understanding of where you came from. So when did you feel God calling you into storytelling and film production? Was there a moment? Was there something that was there a big light that shined, or natural development? How would you describe that?
That's an interesting question. I would say it was not a light bulb moment. Gosh, yeah. I mean, you could go back as early as like when YouTube was first kind of like, at least in my, like, I come from a small town. So like, the like things getting popular might have reached like, and I was a sheltered kid. So, it might have been, YouTube might have been popular. And then I found out about it like 5 years later. But, this is like beginning of high school, late middle school, something like that. And like you could go back that far is when like I first got interested in this like video stuff, like video editing, like filming. Like I bought like literally like a little standard definition, one of those handheld cameras with like the flip out thing, right? I don't know how old I was when I bought that. Probably like, early high school. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but young. Cool. And that was kind of like this, the beginning of the interest, you could say. I don't know if I'd say God called me back then. And then, I guess there's, just over the years, whatever, just like making silly little music videos and stuff. Did some internships in college, got a degree in telecommunication media studies from A&M. Whoop. And, I guess made the decision to enter into video production as a like, job after college. It's like the classic, what do you do? I'm like, I guess I'll do this thing. I've kind of have all this like sort of experience doing this thing, but I don't know anything about like the world of video production, and definitely was not interested at film at that time. And then it wasn't until I like met some film students, like a year or two later, that I started to like, oh, actually film might be kind of fun doing this like narrative thing. And so then that kind of opened up that world. And I remember very specifically, so like when I was introduced to Anthony D'Ambrosio, was 2016, I think. I was talking with another friend, and I had been working, just like a couple of years out of college, right, in like video production, right? So like corporate commercial, like informational videos, just not faith-based anything, just like regular videos for regular companies. But then I was aware that like it's kind of funny. I remember a Catholic vote video that I had just seen somewhere on Facebook or my social media or whatever. I don't know. But I was like, okay, I know there are people out there that like made that and that are making like faith-based videos. And there was just this little, I don't know. I just wanted to combine the two. I wanted to like do this video stuff and like somehow do it like with like the faith-based thing and kind of combine them. So I had a conversation with a very specific friend, and he was like, you need to talk to Anthony D'Ambrosio. And I was like, okay. And so he introduced us. Again, that was back in 2016. So that was the very beginning of Anthony and I working together. And I guess you could say that like, maybe that was the beginning of the call, was just kind of like feeling this tug to like, I want to combine the faith and the video stuff. And now here we are almost 10 years later, making a film about Colby.
Amazing. And I want to say thank you, because we need good Catholics in media. It is really, really important, especially I don't think we need to rehash the fact that the media has in many cases been taken over by satanic elements. Right. And I think especially Maximilian, right, we can say he's known as an apostle of the media, right? That's one of the things that one of the saints of the media is why those, even outside of this project beforehand, and I'm sure in the future, asking for his intercession to guide this whole thing, right? So really, really fascinating. And the ability here to start to listen to what are the gifts and talents and charisms that I have. I kind of like shooting film, and I like shooting movies. And then, there's some other people who like to do this, and together we can create synergy and create something really beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. And I want to dive into this film here. And I'd love to share a story. If you can think of any stories during this production of Triumph of the Heart, right? How would you describe, have you seen any providential moments or the moments that were clearly guided by the Holy Spirit?
Yeah. So there are many instances of God like providing and showing up in many ways. And so one that immediately comes to mind is how we found the actor that plays Maximilian Kolbe. So for those of your listeners, and if you didn't know, we filmed the movie in Poland. And so Anthony and I were in Poland, like during the casting, during all the pre-production. And so we had connected with, we had a Polish friend, and he introduced us to this actor, Marcin Kwaśny, who plays Kolbe. And so, I sent him a message. I said, hey, Marcin, we're making a movie about Maximilian Kolbe. Would love to talk to you about possibly playing the role of Maximilian Kolbe. And it says, yes, come on over, come over to my house. I will feed you and serve you drinks or whatever. And so we go over, we like walk into his house, Polish hospitality, like he greets us, warm smiles, all these things. He's like, one moment. And he like disappears down the hallway. And then he comes back holding a first-class relic of Maximilian Kolbe. And there are only a handful of these. I don't know how many, but there's not many in existence. And so he has one. Somehow he got one. And so he brings us this first-class relic, and he's like showing it to us, and we're like, "Oh my gosh! Like this is amazing! Like how crazy, Like what a coincidence, right?" And so then we like go and sit down at his like dining room table, and his wife brings us, some like tea and like biscuits or whatever, and we start talking, and it's. We were trying to keep an open mind because we had just started the casting process of like trying to find our Kolbe. Obviously, it's a very important decision, and he was, if not the first one we talked to, one of the first ones we talked to. And so we're trying to like keep an open mind. Like we're not making any decisions like rashly, and so we're like talking with him. But both Anthony and I like we're feeling on the inside, like this is our guy. Like this is Kolbe. This is our Kolbe. And he has a beautiful conversion story. He's a former addict. He like had an encounter with Christ. Maximilian Kolbe is also part of his story. Maximilian Kolbe is the patron saint of addicts. And he just has this beautiful conversion story. He has a personal devotion to Maximilian Kolbe, and how Anthony describes it, like in that conversation, he says, we were talking to Marcin about Kolbe, and Anthony says that it felt like we had the same friend, that like the Kolbe that Anthony had gotten to know was the Kolbe that Marcin had gotten to know. And they both knew the same person and both had this personal relationship with Kolbe. And so, we just have this amazing conversation. They're so hospitable. He is just a warm, friendly Pole, and loves Kolbe, and he's a brilliant actor, to top it off. So yeah, that whole conversation, it just like basically like God picked Kolbe, right? Like God picked our Kolbe, and he like just laid him in our lap, and it was the perfect pick. Like, go watch the movie and you'll see like how he plays the character it is just so beautiful and fatherly and loving, but also like there's a firmness, right? Like he's not like letting the guys walk all over him sort of thing in the cell, right? Like there's tension, and like Kolbe holds his ground. Anyway, so that's one story I could tell. There's many more, but that's a good one.
You are hitting on something very beautiful here. And again, we're speaking with Cecilia Stephenson, the executive producer of The Triumph of the Heart, film coming out on September 12th. By the time this gets out, it might already be released, but go see it. And you're hitting on this idea of relics. I still remember I was being privileged to be in his, go to his cell, but also go to his bed, go to his desk to touch these things, to pray in his room. Really, really powerful. And the saints are friends of God, right? They are the ones who had such a burning love and devotion for God and wanted to make his presence known. And Maximilian especially wanted to make Jesus and his mother very much known to the world. And sometimes they leave behind some of their belongings here on earth. And as the phrase goes, you can't take it with you. So leave it here and share it with your family. And we are just part of the family of God there, which is beautiful. So I love the fact that he just dropped into your lap. What a gift on that. What a gift. It's a wink. It's a God wink, and a wink from Maximilian as well. So this is the guy, and we never know, as the old phrase goes, what is success? It's preparation meets opportunity. So he had that devotion, and he had a relic, and these are the people to give it to. And it might just get me a lead role in a major film. So figure that out. It's fine. So I want to ask this question. Were there moments you doubted when this film would be completed? And if so, how did you overcome those doubts?
Oh man. Yes, certainly. I mean, the road is long to make this. The road has been long, I should say, to make this movie, and really to make most movies. It is a very long process. It's, it takes 2 hours to watch, but in some cases, especially if you're like James Cameron, right? Like it takes years to make a movie. Yes. And for us, it's been, I guess, depending on when you start the clock, like three years, at least, like when he was writing the script, right? Maybe more. And gosh, did I doubt? I don't actually know if I doubted that we would ever finish it and like get it out there. I don't think I doubted that specifically. because I don't know, I guess because I knew my dedication to the project, I knew Anthony's dedication. Like there was no world where we would like just stop and give up. And because we truly believed deep down that this is God's movie, like both of us felt this sort of anointing. That may sound kind of weird, but we do feel like God chose us for reasons we may not fully understand, to make this movie. And it's a very humbling idea, to be sure. But because of that, and because we felt like this is God's movie, right? Like we are the ones making it, obviously, but like He's the one plopping Marcin Kawashny in our lap, and all of the other little miracles that happened. And there are countless stories, countless people that He placed in our lives, money that would show up right on time, locations, like props, just like so many things that we could not have planned, and we could not have, and we did not plan and orchestrate on our own. Right. And so that's why there is very much this feeling of like, this is God's movie. And because of that, I don't think I actually doubted that it would be finished and get out there. I think the doubts maybe, I don't know, actually, that's interesting. I haven't really thought about that. Like, did I ever doubt? I think what happened more than doubt was just being on the edge of burnout, and like being on the edge of like, this is so hard. How can I possibly keep going? Like the end is like not in sight. Like now here I am, and the end is, like weeks away. So that's comforting. Like we made it. Like, oh my gosh, like we're here at the finish line. Like all we got to do is just cross over it and like, not trip as we're doing it. And that's still like a hairy proposition at the moment. It's still difficult. But I think the thing that I doubted more, I don't know, it was just like my own, I guess, perseverance to be able to push through and continue fighting the good fight, quite honestly. And like this particular season, I guess like the past few months, I'm kind of going off track here, but hopefully this is okay. The past few months, the season has been, I mean, more difficult, but like compoundedly so, it's not a word, because it is coming after years of like also hardship, like making the movie. And so now here we are getting ever closer to the finish line, and the feeling of just burnout, and I'm so tired and I'm so exhausted and all of these things. It's just really heavy. And I have been envisioning myself in a way, like in the cell with Colby, which is kind of just this beautiful, perfect, I don't know, coming full circle. I don't know, whatever you want to call that. And there have been moments where that has been my prayer, where I'm like, Colby, how did you do it? Like I am in the cell, like I'm in my own cell right now with this dang film. And it's like, and I say that with all the love and respect that the film deserves, because it is a beautiful thing, but I am just like so exhausted and tired and like burnt out. And like, I have to like keep going, because I'm not going to just quit and like walk away from the movie. But at the same time, I'm like, how on earth am I going to make it to the finish line? And I'm like, this is my cell, Colby. Like, I am like, how did you do it? Like, oh my gosh, like, can you help me? Like, just help. Like, and there's so many beautiful lines in the movie that like Anthony, he's a great scriptwriter. And like what Colby tells those men in those moments, like I felt like he was telling to me, and like, that was my prayer. And it's kind of, I don't know, maybe I should like go back and like pray that more, because I'm still feeling that. And I haven't been like lately as connected to the Lord as I need to be, because there's so much work. And, it's like, how can I possibly take 5 minutes to like not be answering emails? But like that has been my prayer. It's just like, I'm fighting the good fight, and like, help me finish the race. Like that's what you did, Colby. And your circumstance was way worse than what I'm experiencing right now. And if you could do it then, like freaking, I can do it now. Like, oh my gosh, I can eat, I can sleep in a bed. Like, I know I'm not going to die from this. So I've, I guess just honestly, to answer your question, like taking inspiration and like asking Colby for help. And it's like I truly am just humbled and inspired that like that man was literally starving to death, and he still chose to pray. He still chose to sing. He still chose to love and bring hope to those men that were with him. And if he could do that, then like, oh my gosh, I can, work long weeks and finish this film, and also like, keep the faith, finish the race. So there you go.
Cecilia, thank you for your sacrifices, because I have not seen the film yet. I know this is going to be near and dear to my heart. It is done with care and compassion, and done good details, and people who are invested in making sure that the story of Maximilian is shared correctly. And I just some reflections on just it would be inappropriate if I didn't comment on what you just said here. Right? There's from First Chronicles 4, 9-10. It's about the prayer of Jabez that comes in, and one of those parts of that prayer is the whole prayer is, would you bless me indeed? Would you expand my territory? Would you put your hand on me? And would you keep me from evil? And it's about getting us putting your hand, we're expanding territory. We're going into the darkness. We're meant to do that. We're meant to bring God's kingdom back to earth where it's supposed to be, right? And there's forces against us on this. And as we're in this battle here, and you've been in this battle of doing this, we hit this wall. This is exhausting. I feel like Frodo. What movie are we on? Are we in Fellowship? Are we still in Fellowship, or are we in Two Towers? I mean, where are we in this journey? And you mean there's a third one? Good God! Like, is this worth it? Right?
Yeah.
But he wants this to happen, my dear sister, who has been following all the rules, because he wants your heart. He wants to get in there, in that place. And I think of, like, I have the image as you're talking here of William Wallace, right, as depicted in Braveheart, right, of being in of here, Father, I don't know if I can do this, like this crucible that you have on me, but he's clearly called you to this moment, and it's not God, as the old phrase goes, right? We're not. God doesn't call the equipped; He equips the called. Right? Me, little old me, to do this. Right? Little young me, right? Maybe I'm too young. Pick somebody else, right? No, you're the producer to do this. Darn it, get out there, right? I gave you all this grace. Go out there, and I'm going to work through this, right? So if there's any word of encouragement on there, and then one other word, right? This is the first reading for my own wedding, right? Sirach 2. When you go to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for trial. And did you think it was going to be easy? Do we really want this to be easy? Because first off, if it's like we say to our clients, if it's easy, everybody would do this. But it makes it that much more meaningful and much more good, and the gravitas that goes in between in this, right? So thank you for picking up your cross, your tailor-made, shiny movie production, and also 2 a.m. on the cutting room floor for editing this film, right? All those things that go into making a movie, right? And you can fill me in all the details, and even more. But it's all worth it, right? And this is where I want to hit on this as we come to get closer to closing this section of our interview. You've done screenings of the film so far, I assume, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So can you share with our audience, one story of somebody who's been touched or maybe even transformed by seeing this film?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. One story. Okay. Oh my word. Okay. Well, the one that is immediately coming to mind, I think it was in Nashville. Yeah. I think it was the Nashville screening we did earlier this year. I don't know how many months ago, a couple months ago. We showed the movie, and I think it was a woman that it was like at a larger event, like a weekend event. And so I think we had run into this woman a couple times already. So it was kind of one of those, you know how it is at like Catholic events, like you kind of just kind of get to know people at the event, and you're kind of like event buddies, right? And so we'd seen this woman a couple times, and, kind of like chatted her up, whatever. She comes up to us after the movie, and Anthony and I were kind of at the back, and like people are leaving, and we're like kind of talking to people, shaking hands, like, thank you so much for coming, all that good stuff. And we're just like chatting with her. And at first, like, she just like looked normal, right? Like looked just, just looked normal. And I just asked her, I don't know what question specifically, but something along the lines of, like, so how'd you like the movie? Like a very basic, like, how was it question? Like, what'd you think? And she like, just like stops, and her face, like she kind of like has to turn away, and she is just overcome by emotion, starts kind of crying like right in front of us, and basically just like tells us that like my husband just died like I was pretty recent, like maybe within a few months. Like, I don't remember exactly, but her husband had just died. And she was also like diagnosed, I don't remember exactly, but some possibly cancer, like some sort of like very bad thing. And I don't remember exactly what it was. And I should for the purpose of the story, but just kind of the double whammy, right? Of like, my husband just died and I have like whatever this like disease is. And like really, like she couldn't really say much because she was like literally crying, but kind of what she kept saying over and over was like, you've given me hope. And basically like kind of my takeaway, like from like what little she was able to share was like, I was hopeless. Like it's just like, I'm suffering before this, like, and I'm still suffering obviously, but like seeing this movie and like, seeing Maximilian Kolbe and seeing all these men, like it's just giving me hope. And, and the conversation, like we weren't able to talk much more than that. And it, you kind of didn't really need to, because it's like enough was said. And, so, we hugged her and, she kind of like went off after that. But, man, I mean, I remember her. I don't remember, the specifics of our conversation, but, I remember her just like instantly, she like broke down, and it was, just like so powerful. Like whatever experience she had watching that movie, like was so powerful for her. And like it makes me want to cry right now. Like it is so humbling to think that like a movie that like Anthony and I made and a bunch of other people made with us, like could have that sort of impact on a person in such like intense suffering. Like I like literally cannot imagine, like I cannot imagine like what she's going through in her life, and like our movie had an impact on her. And I think a positive one, right? Like I think it was a positive impact, and that's just one story. Like there's many more kind of just like it, of people either like writing us messages, sending us videos, coming up to us after screenings and sharing some like their own version of that basically. And some of them are like literally lost for words. Like all they can do is thank us. But like you can like we can tell on their faces that like there's like something happening inside them. And it's so beautiful. So beautiful.
So you heard it here, folks. Bring tissues, because I will be a blubbering mess when I see this. Beautiful. That's a sign of the Holy Spirit working there, and the ripple effect. And I think those are going to be the fun. Let's make the list first, Cecilia. But those are the fun stories for heaven, right? That we're going to be able to hear that. So Triumph of the Heart, it's coming September 12th. Get your tickets, buy lots of tickets, get this out. We need good Catholic films. This is quality films. Like that's been the criticism against Christian media. That's been subpar, especially with projects such as The Chosen, which I understand you were a part of on some level in the past. This is another quality film, but the fact is this is blatantly Catholic, and this is one of our own. This is one of our own. So let's go honor this, and so that many more films like this can be produced. So with that said, what's next? What's next on your plate here? And what's one message you want to leave our audience there? I'll go with a double question.
Double question. Well, what's next? I say this jokingly, but also not jokingly, is a very long vacation.
Oh, praise God. Yes.
After the vacation, I don't know, actually, there's a handful of options. I mean, Anthony's got lots of ideas up his sleeve. Whenever we're like too exhausted to talk about the movie, sometimes we throw around ideas, Blessed Giorgio Frassati, soon to be Saint Giorgio Frassati. His name's been thrown around. There's some like old epic tales, just from, I'm pretty bad with history, but like 16th, 17th century, just like epic tales of like kings of like the Christendom,
Awesome.
That would be like a, multi-million-dollar budget, like that may be like movie number 5 sort of thing. But, I mean, there's so many saints to choose from, so many, heroes of our faith of the past. Don't have any like specifically chosen yet. And then, there's lots of other like people out there. Like we're not the only ones doing this sort of thing. And so just depending on how timelines and all that works, like I may go join forces with another team, get some more experience somewhere else, come back with Anthony, make our big epic tale, we'll see. I'm honestly vacation first, going to cool down a little bit and then just like see where God's leading me, but I definitely like am interested in doing more of this sort of thing. And then to your second question, which I actually forgot, what was your second question?
What's the final message you'd like to share with our audience?
Oh, final message besides go buy tickets. Final message.
That's good. We can leave with that if that's it.
I mean, honestly though, yeah. So I guess for real though, like the final message is, we need your help, and you, and also your listeners. So if this is something that is important to you, there are lots of Catholics, lots of Christians, like Protestants, evangelical, people of faith, right, who are skeptical about faith-based movies, faith-based content. And they're skeptical for good reason, honestly. Like there are lots of movies that have come out before us that are either poor production quality, they're cheesy, bad acting, bad writing, all of those things, or on the scandalous side, right? Like they claim to be Catholic, they claim to be Christian, and then they like don't even mention God, or there's like some sort of scandalous like scene or something, and we're just like, whoa, like okay, like don't put Catholic on that, please. Like that's not what we're about. So I get it. Like there's a lot of
you're talking about, and we don't have to mention titles. So keep going.
So yeah, there's just people are skeptical for good reason. And honestly, there have been so many people that have watched our film that have told us like, I was really skeptical. And then I watched your film and I'm like, man, okay, these people, like, they're a little different. And so I don't want to tell your audience what to think or what to do. And, everyone is like welcome to make their own opinion. Like maybe like the movie's too intense for some people, like maybe, they disagree with whatever, this or that. But I would encourage you to like look us up, like go watch the trailer, go watch some behind the scenes stuff. Like there's so much stuff out there that you can like kind of, read some reviews, right? Like we've had some amazing reviews come out. And then I would encourage you to like buy a ticket, please. Like come see our movie, come see for yourself what you think about it. It's a different kind of saint movie. I can promise you that. But yeah, so go out and see the movie. And then if you like it, please like tell your people, because of that skepticism and because of how hard it is for indie filmmakers, specifically faith-based indie filmmakers, to do what we have done and are still trying to do. It is super hard. And so like, we need your help. Like we really do. If movies like ours are going to be made in the future, like if this is going to be sustainable in any way, shape or form, like we need help. And that help looks like you watching the movie, number one. Number two, if you like it, please go vouch for us. Like, please go tell your friends that it's worth seeing, it's worth spending money on. And money talks, right? Like if we're going to change anything about the culture, like if there are going to be more movies like this made, distributors, marketers, studios need to see that there are audiences for movies like ours, which are movies that don't pull their punches, basically. Like our film does not pull its punches. And I believe there should be more films like this because faith is hardcore, right? Like Jesus was pretty hardcore. And sometimes, the feel-good Christian movies aren't like, we need more than that, right? And so if we want more of those types of movies to be made, speak with your dollars, tell your friends, go see the movie. That's my message.
You have your marching order, kids. Go get your ticket to Triumph the Heart. Go watch it, and then go spread the word. Right? This is here. It is movies and good quality films and television productions that are the medium that people are going to hear or not hear about God and not about Jesus Christ. So, Cecilia, thank you for being here. We're not done yet, with your permission, but what is the best way for people to get in touch with you, to get in touch with the film?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can email, we have a general email address, Colby@triumphoftheheart.com. So KLBE@triumphoftheheart.com. They can email that email address, just kind of like general inquiries if they want to get in touch with us. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for those who are fans of the show, know what's coming. Cecilia, you didn't know this until right before we got on here. So we call this, where's my little clicker? We call this the 12. Okay. And so these are 12 questions I don't want you to think about it too much. Like just kind of off the top of your head. They're kind of fun to help us to get to know you as a person behind the professional that you are.
Okay.
Are you ready for your 12?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Coffee or tea? What fuels you on the set?
Tea.
What kind?
Black tea. Earl Grey is my favorite.
Earl Grey. Okay, very good. All right, number 2. If you had a producer's survival kit, what 3 things would absolutely be in it?
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Okay, a producer survival kit. I mean, the answer might be kind of boring. I'll make it okay. I'll say a spreadsheet with endless tabs. I'll say a cell phone. That's kind of lame. Producer survival kit. It is super important. Spreadsheet, endless tabs, a cell phone, and oh man,
maybe it's a thing of tea. Maybe.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that. I was like, if I like literally on set, like I got my phone in my pocket, I got my hot tea, and then lots of spreadsheets to just like organize all the chaos.
I feel like you're channeling Leslie Knope. Okay, that's what I'm feeling here. If you don't know who that is, go watch Parks and Rec. Okay, number 3. Besides Saint Max, he's off the table. You're not allowed. Okay, who's your go-to saint when things get a little chaotic?
Oh gosh, go-to saint. Go-to saint when things get chaotic. I mean, I got a pretty good namesake. Saint Cecilia is pretty rad. I love Saint Joseph. I'm probably going to go with him. I ask for his intercession a lot. You know, Terror of Demons. That was in your prayer before we started. Big fan of Saint Joseph. Yeah.
You're speaking our language, so Saint Joseph, pray for us. Number 4. Do you have a favorite Christian or Catholic hymn or worship song lifts your spirits?
Oh, God Beyond All Praising. That's an easy one.
That is easy. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Number 5. What's one of the funniest things that's happened behind the scenes of Cry of the Heart?
Oh my gosh. One of the funniest things. Oh man. Okay. One that's immediately coming to mind. So our crew, I love them so much. A bunch of goofballs, and we really, actually this is a better story. Yeah. Okay. So in the movie, it's not a spoiler at all. Like all the men die, right? Like it's part of the movie.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. But there's something about being in such an intense, heavy, emotional environment, like, you know, days on end. In the case of our actors, right? In the case of Anthony and our actors, this is where they were in the cell filming these like super intense scenes all day long. And so they came up with this little tradition. And it's kind of this like morbid humor. But this was just like, sometimes you got to laugh to like release the like intense emotional heaviness. And so they came up with this tradition that every time because the way filming works, you don't film in order generally. So the scenes are stacked just based on a whole bunch of like logistical things. It's like this gigantic logistical puzzle that is super fun for people like me to try and solve and put together. Right. So because of this, you film out of order. And so there would be days when the characters, like our 10 men, they would have their death day. And like that was the day they had their death scene, right? Like we literally filmed them dying in the movie. And so they came up with this tradition and the other part of the story, to make this make sense, is they were all on diets. Like they were all fasting because we asked them to lose weight. Some like went a little harder than others in terms of how like intensely they were fasting. And so kind of the way it was like their death day, like they had to look like the worst on their death day. Right. So the kind of thinking was, as soon as you had your death day, like you could kind of ease up a little bit on the fasting, because you never had to look quite that bad. So to celebrate the death day, they would go to Biedronka, which was the little grocery store that was literally like within walking distance from our set. And they had these decadent, delicious chocolate muffins.
Oh.
I wish they were in America. They were so good. And so the tradition was whenever one of the 10 men would have their death day at the end of filming that day, the others would like go and like buy a muffin and bring it, and they would present it. And like, they hadn't had chocolate, like, in some cases like months, like certainly weeks. Like they were hardcore, like fasting, trying to lose weight. And so they would present the one that died, like had their death day, the chocolate muffin, and they would sing the death day song, happy death day to you. And like there's a couple of videos that like exist like in like our behind the scenes like hard drive like of these moments, and like then they would proceed to eat the muffin, and it was something to behold, just like relishing that chocolate muffin. Anyway, that was just like a just super, super fun, like lighthearted thing that we did on set. And it was pretty funny. Yeah, it was a good time.
I feel like you are channeling Dante, who reminds us that it's all a divine comedy, right? And may we have that sense of humor when our hour has come, which is coming. It comes for all of us.
It
right?
does. It does.
Very good. Very good. Number 6. Speaking of food, if you could eat only one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, obviously it would be, that's actually hard. Oh man. I was going to say pasta. I could probably eat pasta for the rest of my life.
What kind?
Dang it. Okay.
But we'll go with pasta. I mean, but it's good. But if you had to pick one, what would it be? What kind of pasta?
Dang, that is so hard. I'm a sucker for just like a creamy, buttery garlic sauce. I don't know, just like kind of basic. Throw in like a bunch of veggies, throw in like some chicken.
Talking
like
kid.
Yeah. I had like a primavera pasta, like a recipe I made that was like pretty dang good. Like throw some chicken in that as well. I don't know if I have to choose something. I guess like that would be pretty good. I would eat that for the rest of my life.
You are. Yeah. I really want to get some lo mein right now. So thank you for bringing that up here. That's good. I'll receive
Asian
that.
Pasta. Love it.
Oh gosh, yes, completely, absolutely. Italian or Asian, bring it on as long as it's pasta.
So funny.
Number 7. What book outside of the scriptures has inspired you most recently?
Oh, this is hard because I am not a big reader, unfortunately, but has inspired me recently. I'm going to go with the Father Jacques Philippe, Searching for and Maintaining Peace. It is a little treasure trove of just gold. My word. What a little power-packed punch book.
So A, go watch Triumph of the Heart. B, go get anything from Father Jacques Philippe. Amazing. He's relatively young still, isn't he? Right?
I have no idea, actually.
I think he is. So he's going to keep churning out these classics. That's our hope.
Fabulous.
It is fabulous. Number 8. When you're not working, which may be a precursor for what is coming, where's your happy place?
Oh, my happy place is a board game night with friends. That's my happy place.
Okay, so I want to follow up. I'm really glad you said this because on another bio you sent over. Okay, so top 3 board games, go.
Oh, I'm a sucker for Settlers of Catan. Pandemic is super fun. Top three. I'm like blanking on all other board games now.
All right, I'll just ask. Have you ever played Azul?
Oh no.
You're welcome.
Okay.
There's several versions of Azul. You're welcome.
Okay. I'll check it out. I'm open. Number 3 is open.
Have you been to Portugal?
I've not.
Okay, so get to Portugal, and then you will always go first when you play Azul. So there you go.
That is so funny.
You're welcome. Okay, number 9. Besides Triumph of the Heart, do you have a favorite Catholic podcast, movie, or TV show that you'd recommend?
Ooh, okay. Favorite podcast, TV show, or movie? Oh my gosh. Podcast, TV show, or movie. This is also a really hard question for me because I'm really bad with watching movies. And most of the podcasts I listen to are actually political. Ooh, don't tell anyone.
Nobody, no, don't worry. Your secret safe here.
So funny. Yeah. Okay. Favorite Catholic movie? I mean, can I say Lord of the Rings? I don't know. I don't think I have a good answer for this.
That's a great answer.
Okay.
I'm actually back to rewatching it, and that's why, like, when you
Right.
said that, there we are. 10. If you had to describe, sticking on this theme, if you had to describe your life right now as a movie genre, what would it be? Would it be rom-com, adventure,
Ooh.
drama, or a musical?
Like those three I have to choose, or
Those
any
four:
genre?
rom-com, adventure, drama, or musical. But again, if you want to throw another one out,
No, we can limit it. That's good. Okay, rom-com, adventure, musical, drama. I'm gonna go with my life right now. I'm gonna go with adventure.
I agree. Number 11. Besides your name and date, what do you want on your tombstone?
Oh gosh.
This is your death muffin. Here you go.
My death muffin. Without thinking too much further about it, I'm going to steal a phrase that was coined, not like literally, but my group that I worked with dubbed me this. And I think, I don't know, it's the best that I got right in this moment without, having a full like creative session to come up with what's actually going to be my tombstone. So we'll just go with the producer of Playtime. That's we're going to put that on my tombstone. Yeah.
That's great.
It's not my official answer. So if I die tomorrow, like
there might be something else, but we'll go with it. You get to plan this thing out. It's your death muffin. You get to plan it out. You're welcome. I like it. Okay. Number 12, Cecilia Stephenson. Why be Catholic? Why be Catholic?
Oh gosh, because it is the best religion. Why be Catholic? It's the church that Christ founded. I think the Catholic faith is a church full of a beauty and a richness that I love my friends of other faith backgrounds, but I just feel like is missing in other faith traditions. And I love the tradition. I think the tradition, the sacraments, the physical nature of like how Catholics live, right? Like there are monks that brew beer. There are monks that, make soap. Like we live in a physical world and God gave us a physical religion. And like the sacraments are like 100% that, right? Like the outward sign of like inward truths that are happening, like physical bread and wine, right? Like physical oils and waters. And I just love that. And I think it's such a gift from the Lord. And I think it's a reason to be Catholic. Not to mention it's the religion that Jesus gave us. And it's like, it's so rich. It's so rich. That's my answer.
Beautiful. And with that, and channeling St. Bridget of Sweden and the Lake of Beer, we would like to thank you. I would like to thank you so much for joining us today and sharing what's on your heart about Triumph of the Heart. And it's a gift to see how God is working through your storytelling, right, to touch the lives and draw people closer to him. So thank you so much, Cecilia, for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
An honor. And for all of, actually, I'm going to go the other way. Here we go. And for all of you who are hearing this, for our listeners, if you'd like to learn more about the film, click the show notes. But again, Triumph of the Heart is there. And to reach out to them is colby@triumphoftheheart.com to get in touch with Cecilia. And as always, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Redeemed Vision podcast. And just let's continue living boldly our faith to share the triumph of Jesus Christ love in our own life. And remember, as usual, nothing is wasted and everything is redeemable. So until next time, I'm Steve Pokorny, and this is the Redeemed Vision podcast.
The Redeemed Vision podcast is an outreach of Freedom Coaching. To learn more, check out freedom-coaching.net and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Movie.